Hello everyone and welcome to the new episode of the Darktable. In this episode, I refer to this post in the pixel.us discussion forum. Marcus B. wanted to know how to translate the instructions from Adobe Lightroom to Darktable. The reason is that there are a lot of good videos and tutorials about editing photos where the authors, among other things, mostly use Adobe products, and the question will be how to get the similar results with Darktable. Marcus had also mentioned the video in his post as an example. In this interesting video by Christian Möhrle, 7 photographers have edited the same raw file with 7 different results. This is a nice demonstration of how you can see the same motif in different ways. Author of the video has kindly provided both the original raw files and the results of 7 photographers, so people can also try it themselves and compare with the results. According to the request of Dave Goldberg, the author had also allowed us to use the files for demonstration purposes, stating that they may not be used for commercial purposes. And I would like to emphasize that. I will add the links of the post and the video in the description. For this episode I have chosen 3 different interpretations of motif from a mentioned video, and will try to reproduce them with help of Darktable. In the upper part I have one of the raw files. I have chosen one of the raw files and duplicated twice. And at the bottom part here we have those 3 interpretations. First one is from creator of the video itself, from Christian Möhrle, who has also shown in the second half of his video how he had edited this photo. Then we have Daniel Laan version and version from Antoni Valenta. But before starting, I would like to give 2 important remarks. First, please do not copy other people's work. This video is only a demonstration of how to get similar results with Darktable as with other software, and not a hint how to reproduce other people's works. You can look at other photographers' consideration, learn from them, and develop your own style. And second, direct translation of other software's procedures into Darktable's procedures is not possible and not desirable. Especially for those who are just switching, this only leads to confusion and frustration and make learning new software more difficult. Despite some similarities, Darktable has its own approach that must be learned before one will be able to get results similar to those made by other software. One must first understand internal logic, learn the functionality of different modules, and then be able to use and combine them in such a way as to have some flexibility to deal with different elements of the motif. This in turn means that the path to the goal will be, in part, a completely different one than with other software. So, for those who want to learn from other photographers, please don't hang up too much on the approach that is presented by them when they use their own software, but rather on their goals. You can then try to achieve those on your own way with Darktable. This episode should give you some hints how to do that. So, that being said, let's get started. We will begin with this one. This is the interpretation of the creator of the video itself, Christian Möhrle. And to be able to get that result, we need to analyze a little bit what he has done. And immediately we can recognize that his photo, his version, is quite sharp. He has quite a lot of local contrast, especially in this area here. And also this small area is a little bit brighter. And he has also changed a little bit the colors of the photo, and I will say this is some kind of quite subtle teal and orange look. So let's see how can we achieve similar look with a Darktable. I think we need to start with cropping. I think he has made some small crop. Let me see where he has gone. Okay, let's try to address that. So we can use crop module, original image. I think he has gone a little bit down here and up to remove that grass here. I will say, let's see, let's compare it again. Yeah, I think it's about there. And now we need to deal with brightness and also with colors. So let's go back. And I think we will use, I'm thinking about to use Sigmoid for this version. And what we immediately need to do, we have too much brightness in that area with rock here. So we need to use one exposure module and darken that area. So we will use some mask. Let's say this one, I don't know, maybe a bit more feathering, something like that, and we'll decrease the exposure there. And now we have similar brightness in that area here, and we need a bit more contrast overall, so we can use Sigmoid for that, and it's nice option by Sigmoid. It gives us quite quick, quite nice contrasts, and I don't think we need anything else to do with contrasts and brightness now. For now we can concentrate on the colors. Okay, let's see. I think we could go with exposure 1 a little bit more down, so that we darken a little bit the upper part even more. And I could also turn, no, we don't have any length correction for this model, but denoising and raw chromatic aberration could also help us by masking later. And when we now want to deal with colors, we first need to white balance our photo. So we'll go to the cat part in the color balance and use color picker. And we have quite cold color now. We don't want that. We need to find some neutral part. If we have a luck, I think we can use that snow. Yeah, I think it looks better. Yeah. Okay, now we have prepared our photo for color grading. Let me see again what kind of color we need to have. Okay, I think we can achieve this with another instance of color calibration module, because we can use their channel mixer. And we will go now to the red tab with R. And I think we need to decrease input green and input blue from the red channel, and add some red there. Let's see. Okay, we need even more. Let's do that once again. We need even more red. And we are quite close now, as you can see. I think we don't need too much. Maybe we can use also, well, let me try to reduce preservation of the hue in. As you can see, we have now that coloring, which is quite similar to this one. Actually, that preservation of hue had done a nice job, but when we want to have the similar photo like this one, we need to disable that. Okay, that's the one thing. I think we are good with channel mixer. We can improve the saturation a little bit. Let me see again. Yeah, so we need more saturation in desaturated areas of the rocks, so we can go to color balance RGB, add some vibrance, and at the same time we need to go a little bit down with saturation in the rest of the area, so that we have something like that. Okay, I think we have now similar colors, not that identical, similar. We can eventually correct that even more, but for this case it's okay. And let me see what can we do next. I think we also need to add some contrasts in the colors. As you can see, the blue sky in the JPEG is a bit darker than our version, and the red channel, especially in the upper part, is a bit brighter. Okay, so let's try that. So we can also use that color calibration, new color calibration instance where we have used that channel mixer. And now we can go to the brightness tab and darken tiny bit the blue sky, and maybe brighten as compensation a little bit of red. Let's see. I think this could work. Are we too dark? We are a little too dark. Let's go back. Something like that. Okay, I think that's okay now. And now we need to deal with contrasts, local contrasts in the photo. I think I will do that local contrast in 2 steps, because the bottom part of the photo has much more local contrast than the upper part. So we need 2 instances of some module that we will use. Let me think, what could we use? We can really quick results we can get with contrast equalizer. Let's try that first. And I think I will add that mask. Let me see. Maybe a little feathering. Okay, and now we can go with, in the Luma tab, you can go up a little bit. And I think we don't need to go too much with coarse parts up, but only with those in the middle. And so we need practically the sharpening there. So let me see. Are we too? Yeah, we're too. That's too much. So we need to go back a little bit. Where do we have that? Yeah. It's quite subtle, actually. Or we can even reduce that. Let me see. Maybe that's the key. I'm not sure. Let's see. Oh yeah, that's the better. That's better option. I think we have now similar contrasts, local contrasts in the top part of the photo. And now let's use another instance for the bottom part. So we can use another instance. We can also use the same mask as contrast equalizer and toggle the polarity to the other direction. Let's see. Yeah. And now we can go up. I think in this case we need to go quite up. Maybe even more with this finer part, just to have no compression. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's, I think that's good. That looks good now. And we also need to darken that bottom part a little bit. Okay, let's use, I don't know, let's use color balance NGP the next instance to see, or okay, color balance doesn't matter. we can also, of course, use that mask what we had here before. That contrast equalizer 1. Toggle. No, that's wrong button. This one. And now we can go down with shadows in perceptual brilliance gradient. Let me see, maybe it's enough. Okay, let's do that another way. Let's go with the brilliance down, but not too much with shadows. That's really just simple adjustments. And let's add a tiny bit of highlights and maybe mid-tones, just to balance it a little bit better. So I will say we are good here. I don't think we need to do anything else. We could add a little bit more colors in the rocks, but I don't think we need to do that. I think this version is quite okay. But let me try something else there. Now we are quite similar, like our photo on the right, but I think I'm not happy with that oversaturation here. Let's see what happens if I go with a tone equalizer, maybe above everything before sigmoid, because I would like only to influence that quite harsh highlights there. So we can also use the mask only for the upper part, so whatever, let's use 1. And now we can adjust our tone equalizer, and only just tiny bit, and not too much. And here you go. With me, no, let's leave it there. How about when we brighten that thingy so that we only touch the highest highlights? Okay, how it looks now. Yeah, I will say we can also add some skew in sigmoid, and I think we have a nice version here. I will say even better than this one because we have our details there. Okay, I think that's enough for this one. Let's see what can we do with another one. This one is from Daniel Laan, and he has quite interesting edit. First he has that quadratic crop, and about the colors he didn't change too much in that area with rock and this one area, but he has changed the color of the sky. The color of the sky has some kind of magentish look. That means it has more red channel there, also in the reflection. The contrasts, local contrasts on the rocks are not too high. I think just a little bit of fine local contrast there. And the bottom part of the photo is quite saturated, and the grass here is more or less brownish. And I think we have a bit more local contrast in this area. I would say this whole area there. So we have a few parts. I will say we have that one part with that magentish sky. Then we have a little bit contrast there. I don't think he has touched too much that area here. and then we need to add that diffusion, change the color in this area, and also add some local contrast there. Okay, so let's get started. So first we need to crop that photo. Let me see, where are the edges? Somewhere here, here, and on the other side also a little bit. Upper part he didn't touch too much. Okay, so let's crop that photo first. I think we use freehand. There, let's say there, a little bit here, and okay, let's compare. I think it's okay. So let's get started with brightness and colors. So we can start with the brightness of the upper part. I think he has darkened a little bit that area with the rocks. Okay, so we can use one more exposure module. Add some mask. We don't need to be too much precise. Oh, come on. Let's say something like that. A bit feathering. Yeah, we can now darken that. I don't know how far we should go. Okay, let's stay there. And now I will also use sigmoid for this one because of the contrast, of the nice contrast that we have. Yeah, it's much better. And let's see what can we do with the colors here. So as always, first white balance. Let's also choose that patch. No, this one. Yeah, and also row chromatic aberrations, denoising. It could be important later. So, okay, I think in the mid part we don't need to change too much. But what we need to do is now to change the color of the sky. So let's do that with color calibration new instance. So we'll use I think we'll use red channel because we need to add some red to the sky. But first we need to mask the sky, and let's do that real quick. Maybe something like that. Add some feathering. Okay. And now we go to the red channel in channel mixer, and I think we only need to add a little bit of a red to that in red channel. Maybe that's too much. Let's go back. Let's go back a little bit. Let's see again. Bit more. It's quite fine. Adjustment. And I think we can also, let me see, I can also we can also desaturate a little bit the blue channel here. So we go to colorfulness and go down a little bit with saturation. Let me see. Yeah, that's about almost about that. How about if we add a little bit green? But just plain. No, it's not. It's not better. Okay, let's go back. I think we will leave it here. I think it's quite similar now. And let's add some saturation. I'm not sure, should we add some contrast, because we can automatically add some saturation there. Yeah, I think it doesn't look bad. And we can also go down with preservation of hue in sigmoid, and we will get similar color like this one. And how about saturation additionally? I think we could add some in the highlights. Let me see. Or no, I think what we need to do is not to do that, but full vibrance, similar to the last example, and go with the chroma down, because we need to saturate a bit more that area, gray area of the stones of the. Okay, that's look approximately as I would like to have, but the sky is not so good. We have now more saturation there, so we need to go to back to the color calibration 1 and remove the colorfulness of the blue channel even more, I would say. Yeah, and let's add a bit colorfulness of the red channel, just a tiny bit. Okay. Now we have similar similar look, and I think we need to balance a little bit the contrasts in the upper part, so we can use, I think we can use tone equalizer for that, and we will mask only the upper part. Maybe we can start here and go a little bit here up. So let's see. I don't want to brighten too much this area here. Or we can reduce that. We can reduce that only to, let me see, something like that first. Yeah, I think this area is now good, but we have brightened too much this one, so we will need to reduce that. Okay, so we need something else as mask. So let's remove this one and add something like that. I'm not sure how far we should go. Let me see. And feathering. let's see now. Yeah, well, not bad there. So I think we are good in that area. I think we need to add just a tiny bit more contrasts, fine contrasts in the upper part only, and remove the coarse parts, so we can use contrast equalizer. Also, I don't know, let's go there and go down just a little bit with this one and up with this one. Let's see. Yeah, no, we can go to the color balance RGB and add some contrast there. Yeah, now we have that glow in this area, and also nice details on the rocks. Okay, let's see what we can do with the bottom part now. I think we need to deal with the bottom part so that we can, let me think, we should treat this area and this area differently, I think. But first I will add one more color balance RGB, or no, let's try first with contrast equalizer. I think we could already have nice results only if we use contrast equalizer. Let me see. So let's mask the bottom part, something like that, or maybe a bit less. Or wait a minute. I think we will use this kind of mask here, because I think that's the most. In this area we have the most local contrast. Okay, let's disable the mask indicator and go up. Oh, I think we need to toggle that. Yeah, excuse me. No. Okay, let's see. It's a bit too much, but we're not bad. Okay, so we can also, or let's try that. Let's soften the coarse parts and add a bit more on the fine area. Yeah, that could work. I would say it's a bit too much, but that's the right direction, so we can also try to reduce that mix. Okay. And now I think that's enough. So we need to add some color here, and also contrast. So let's mask that. Excuse me. Real quick. So we will use one more color balance RGB module, add mask there, and see what can we do to improve that. Maybe even a little more here. So we will add a bit contrast here. Let's see what do we get. And I think we also need to do some kind of colorization here, but let's first add some saturation. I don't know, maybe so, and see the colors a bit better. Okay, I think we need to use, let me think, in the shadows a bit of those. Oh, I think I'm in the wrong, yeah, this one, excuse me. Okay, again, yeah, some kind of magenta, yeah, something like that. Are we good now? I think we need a bit more of brightness in the highlights. Let's let also regulate our masks. So I think we need to go up here and highlights half, and also by shadows. So let's see how that develops now. Yeah, that looks better, I would say, but we have too much contrasts there, so maybe we will, oh, I think, why is he always come back to the first instance? I was there. Okay, so I think we will do that way. We will just reduce the perceptual brilliance grading. Let me see. Yeah, I think just a tiny bit more of the mid tones and we're okay. Yeah. Okay, we can make it better, but I don't want to lose too much time on this kind of detail. Need to be a little bit softer, but that's okay. And let's concentrate now for that diffusion here on the right part of the photo. Okay, to be able to do that, we can use diffuse and sharpen module, and I think we need to add a mask because we don't want to have it everywhere. Let's see, maybe this area here, I'm not so sure. Okay, let's try that. So we need one path here, drone mask, about there, some feathering. Okay, disable mask indicator, and now we can go with first auto speed. I think that will be enough, and maybe 2 iterations. And of course we need quite high radius. It's almost good. Let's see. Don't think we need too much more here. Yeah, I will say that's enough for that. We can even go a little bit back with our masking. What I mean by that is we don't need to go too far here. Yeah, and what we also need to do, we can use one more instance of tone equalizer. I will bring it above color balance RGB because we want to add that brightness after every step that we have made until now. So I will mask that area here. I don't know how far. Let's do that. Now we can adjust the mask later if it doesn't work. And I think we need to go up here. I don't know, I'm not sure how far. Yeah, that could be good. Excuse me. Maybe too much. A bit less, and also we also need to feather our mask. Let me see what kind of area. Yeah, almost like that. Excuse me. And we also need a little bit more contrast on the top part, so let's use one more color balance RGB just for that. Really only a tiny bit more. Okay. And I think we could go with tonic colors a bit brighter. Or, oh, it's more of that feathering. So we can also include this area here. That's just the quick adjustments. So let's go even further, just to equalize that polarization effect. More? Do we need more? Come on. Okay, now let me see. What kind? I don't want to brighten it too much. And also edge thingy. So how it looks now. Okay, I think we are good here with this one. And I think this version, my version, is a little bit better in that area because we don't have overexposed clouds here. And yeah, I think we are quite near to that version of Daniel Laan. Okay, let's see what can we do with the last example. This one is from Antoni Valenta, and it looks quite harsh, and it's almost typical teal and orange photo. So we need to do a lot of things here, I think, and what we have is that mid part is bright. That need to achieve that. We need to darken the sky. We need to give the whole photo that teal and orange look. And we need also quite high contrasts and also local contrasts. So that will be interesting to achieve. Okay, let's get started. And as I can see, I don't think we need any crop. So we can immediately start with brightness and colors. So let's go in the darkroom, chromatic aberration, denoising, and we will decrease the brightness of the rocks with another instance of exposure module. So let's do that real quick. Something like that. A bit more. Okay. Feathering, and bam. Let's go down. And this time I will also use sigmoid, add some contrast. Excuse me. Maybe some skew. Now let's compare it again. As you can see, we have now balanced the brightness of the photo, and we can now concentrate a bit more on the colors. So, as before, first things first. So, white balance. Let's choose our thingy here. Compare it again. Yeah, it looks better, it's a bit warmer. And now we can immediately use another instance of color calibration to get that teal and orange look. So we go with a red channel, input red, and go quite a lot down with the input blue and a little bit of input green. I don't know, something like that, and add quite a lot of red. I would say something like that, and go tiny bit with input red in blue channel. Let's compare that again. And I think we are quite near, but we also need to desaturate blue channel. So let's go by brightness and by color furnace, excuse me. I think we need to be even more. It's 1.3. Yeah, that looks better. It's a bit near, like in that JPEG. And we also need to increase colorfulness of the red channel as compensation. I don't know how far. Okay, and I almost forgot, we also need to go down with hue preservation so that we add that strange yellowish look, which I don't like, but that is how our JPEG looks like. So now we are a little bit better there. And now we need to play a little bit with color balance RGB. I think we need to, so let me think. I will mask the area with the red channel, or with the warm colors, and this time I will use this mask because I'm not sure should I mask everything. Excuse me. Approximately there, because I don't want to influence too much the sky here. We can readjust the mask if needed. What I want to do with this instance of color balance module is to adjust the colors even better. So I will add some global vibrance and remove the saturation from a whole photo, because I want to saturate a little bit those desaturated pixels, something like that. Let me see. Yeah, that's better. And I think I will add also a bit more yellow in the highlights, so that you have that orange yellowy look. Yeah, something like that. I don't know, we could, let me try that. We go to exposure 1 and darken a little bit more that upper part, so that we can see the colors a bit better. Yeah, I think we're quite near. I think we can also go back to color calibration 1 and add even more saturation in the red channel, maybe more, even more in green. So let's see. No, not in green, because we are getting saturated also the sky. We don't want that. Only the red channel needs to be saturated. And now we have quite similar colors in both photos. Let's see what can we do next. Now I think we can add a bit more contrast in that mid part. So let's use also our color balance RGB to adjust that, something like that. And we now need to deal with local contrast in every area. So let's first add some local contrast in the top part. We can use contrast stabilizer like before. I don't know, this half first, a little bit varying radius, and I think we need, let me see, we need to reduce coarse part and enhance fine part. Okay, contrast equalizer. Okay, mask is adjusted, so let's go with those fine parts high and reduce tiny bit. So let's see, I think, yeah, that's better. That looks quite similar to that of the JPEG. And now we will need another instance of color equalizer for the bottom part. Excuse me. We can use the same mask, I will say, as contrast equalizer, but just toggle. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, and now we can go up. Question is, how far? I think in this area is also quite a lot of fine contrast. I'm not so sure. Let's check it out. Yeah, and I think we need to desaturate a little bit this area and add more contrast. Let's see. Yeah, we need to do that, I think, with another instance of color balance module, but only on the bottom part. We can also use that mask that we have used for contrast equalizer. Also toggle the polarity of the mask, and let's try to improve. No, I'll say that. Let's see. What do we get? And I will desaturate it a little bit. I don't know, global chroma could be enough. Okay, we are now quite similar, but I think we also need to brighten this area here. No, let me see. That whole area needs a bit more brightness. I'll say, okay. We can use for that tone equalizer. Let's try. Do that. Tone equalizer, maybe we don't need to change his position. Let's see. Let's adjust that and mask. Oh, no, wrong one. So we need to go here, here. Okay. Less on that side. Some feathering and disable indicator, and let's see what can we do. I think we need to go with okay, how it looks like now. Yeah, we have quite a similar brightness there now. Let me think about colors again. Okay, they're okay there, but what we need to do, I think we need to improve this area also. That means we need to brighten it a little bit and also add a bit more local contrast. So let's do that. So to brighten it, I will also use tone equalizer on one instance because I have more control about different brightness areas. Okay, so let's mask that part. Go real quick. Maybe a bit more feathering. And also here. And we need to go up on midtones, I would say, and shadows. Let me see. Yes, something like that. And we also need one more instance of contrast equalizer just for that area. So we can use or reuse that mask from what we had, tone equalizer 1. Also add some feathering. And I don't know, oh, excuse me, that was wrong. I will try first only with that fine graining. Maybe we're good. Almost. I think we need a bit more. Excuse me. We need a bit more. Yes, approximately. Approximately we are there. But it's interesting that how much local contrast he has done here. It's, for my taste, is quite too much, but that's some kind of style. Okay, let's crank it up. Okay. Okay, that's enough. And one thing I would like to do also is to, I'm not sure, should we do that? let's try. I would like to add a bit more contrast in the top part, just a tiny bit. And I don't like to lose those details in this area. So let's improve that also with one more instance of tone equalizer. And this instance I will bring above everything else because I would like to improve it after all those steps. Oh, I made a mistake. Okay, let's bring it here. This one needs to go up because I would like to save that highlights there. Yeah. So let's compare it again. Okay, I think we need to brighten just a tiny bit that area here. That can be done also with tone equalizer, I would say. One more instance. Mask. I'm not sure how far, but because no, the midtones only, and feathering, of course, and a bit less of masking here. Yeah. Okay, that should be enough. The only difference what I can recognize here is that the clouds are white here, a little bit brownish, but I don't want to spend too much time to mask them and to remove that saturation there. We can leave that one here because the video is already quite long, and you have the idea how you can achieve some kind of styles. And you can play alone with those photos. And I will say that's enough for this episode. And if you have some questions, feel free to ask them in the discussion forum of pixels.us or in the comments section of the video. So thank you for watching, and until the next time.